Okay, yes.
Right, so shall we go over it again? Came to pass on the morning. Number 13. Vayhi Maharat, and it came to pass on the morning that Vayashev Moshe sat Ha'am to judge the people. V'hamod Ha'am El Moshe. Al Moshe, the people stood about Moshe, Ben Haboker, and Ha'arif, from the morning until the evening. Right, so.
Okay?
Right.
There's a nice long Rashi here for you.
Right. But Sa'eh Yom HaKippurim, it was on the day of, following the day of Yom Kippur.
Now,
Rashi,
let me explain before we go further. Rashi is bothered by the fact, by Yom Macharas, it was on the morrow. It was on the next day. Next day after what? Means obviously we know, this is known to us what the previous day was, and now this was the next day. Okay, so now Rashi gives us a pointer here. Okay?
Kach Sheninu.
Right, Moitze Yom HaKippurim Haya.
It was on the day
after Yom Kippur.
After Yom Kippur.
Kach Sheninu B'Sifrei.
This we learn in Sifrei.
Mahu Mimocharas.
And what is the meaning of on the morning?
Right.
After the Maharat, Rad Tor Min Ahad. On the day after his descent from the mountain. He
came down. Right? It's actually, his descent is not good. It's again, this is a gerund form. Machas Ridder Min Ahad. The day after he came down from the mountain. Okay? By the way, just to give a Muslim what's going on, we actually touched on this subject right at the beginning. There's a machlokes, when did Yisro come? Did Yisro come before Matan Torah or after Matan Torah? Okay? If he came before Matan Torah, Pashas he came within, it says that they were already encamping, they were already encamping at Mount Sinai. So if he came before Matan Torah, means he came from Rosh Chodesh Sivan, because that's when the Jewish people came to Mount Sinai. Right. Between then and the 5th of Sivan, because the 6th of Sivan, that's when the Jewish people received the Torah. So if he came before the Jewish people received the Torah, he came somewhere between either the 1st and the 5th. Right. If he came after Matan Torah, then this is a little bit of a, we're going to have to...
Then he had the whole year.
Not a whole year.
Did they sit there another year?
No. I said, if he came after Matan Torah, according to what Rashi is saying over here, this Yisro was already there on the day after Yom Kippur. And that's what it says here. It was the day after Yom Kippur, he was already there. And this is when he came to have this whole discussion with Moshe. After, so somewhere between the 6th of Sivan and Yom Kippur. Now, we have to take into account over here that from the time Moshe Rabbeinu went up on Mount Sinai on the 6th of Sivan, there were very few days that he was down with the Jewish people. Because from the 7th of Sivan, which is the day after, the 6th of Sivan, that's when Hashem came down to the mountain and gave the Ten Commandments. On the 7th of Sivan, Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the mountain and he was there for 40 days and 40 nights. Okay? Which then, as we know, he came down on the 17th of Tammuz. And that's where people made a mistake. They thought he was going to come down on the 16th, and he didn't come down on the 16th. But in Ma'aseh, when did he come down? On the 17th of Tammuz. The Jewish people had sadly made themselves an idol, the golden calf, and they were serving the golden calf, they were dancing around the golden calf, and Moshe Rabbeinu came down. And Hakadosh Baruch Hu got all upset with them, rightly so. And Moshe Rabbeinu then, on the 17th, after he came down, he destroyed, ground up the golden calf, and next day, on the 18th, he went up to Shemayim, was again then for 40 days, 18th of Tammuz, what did I say?
17th.
Yeah, you're right.
18th of Tammuz, he went up to the mountain and was there for another 40 days and 40 nights. Okay? No, 1 second.
And when did he come down?
Then he came down, on the 29th of Av.
Oh.
29th of Av, he came down again. During those 40 days, between the 18th of Tammuz and 29th of Av, Moshe Rabbeinu was praying on the mountain for the Jewish people. But L'maisa HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't yet answer his prayers. And then on the 30th of Av, he went up again. Okay? And he was then for another 40 nights. And this time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu listened to his prayers. And when did he come down? On Yom Kippur. So Yom Kippur was the end of the third 40 days. But that means that Moshe Rabbeinu was only down on 2 days, between the 17th and 18th of Tammuz, and between the 29th and the 30th of Av. Right? So that was all the time around. That was it.
So what connection with Shavuot?
I missed all of that.
Sorry?
Shavuot, they got the...
So it was only 2 days when Moshe Rabbeinu was not on the mountain.
Shavuot, what did you do at Shavuot?
Shavuot is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared. That was the 10 Commandments. 7th of Av, of Sivan, the next day, Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the mountain. So if Yisro came after Matan Torah, it must have been on one of 2 days. Either the 17th of Tammuz, which is unlikely, and more likely to have been on the 29th of Av. Because only on those 2 days was Moshe around.
Alright, so why did he come down then if the prayers weren't answered and he had to go right back up the next day?
It seems that there needs to be a break. There needs to be a break between the two.
Alright, so he went back up on the 30th of Av and came down on
Yom Kippur.
Which is what day? The 10th,
10th of
Tishrei.
That's the third 40 days. And by the way, the cheshbon is, it has to be, each one is actually 40 and a half days. Because Moshe Rabbeinu had to be on each time 40 days and 40 nights. That's the important thing. That's where the Jewish people actually made their mistake. Because Moshe Rabbeinu went up on the 7th of Sivan, and if you only count 40 days without the 40 nights, then it would have attacker ended on the 16th of Tammuz. Right? But because Moshe Rabbeinu said there was 40 days and 40 nights, so therefore he only came down the next day.
He came down the third time with the second set.
Right. And the Chazal say that the first 40 days, Kosh Baruch Hu was how do you say it? Not Simcha. Was Berachamim, Kosh Baruch Hu, because that's when Kosh Baruch Hu was teaching Moshe Rabbeinu the entire Torah. The second set of 40 days, Kosh Baruch Hu was in anger, the kas. And the third set, Kosh Baruch Hu was willing to hear Moshe Rabbeinu's prayers, and those were called the 40 days of Rachamim. And that's why so that's basically 30th of Av is the first day of Rosh Chodesh Elul. From then till Yom Kippur, that's why it's called the Yomei HaRachamim. Those are the days of mercy, just like it was then.
So if not for the golden calf, we wouldn't have Yom Kippur.
That's an interesting point, yes.
Say that again, what did he say?
If it had not been for the golden calf, we wouldn't have needed. Right. Yom Kippur. Okay?
Exactly right.
Yom Kippur is a day of atonement for our sins. If we didn't sin, we wouldn't need an atonement. Correct? Okay. Now, let's go back over here. Now,
and of necessity,
right?
it is only possible to say that it was on the morning of the
morrow of Yom Kippur.
Yom HaAtonement. Sharei Kodem Matan Torah. Since before the giving of the Torah, it would have been impossible to state Vadati et Chukei V'God, and I will make them know the statutes of.
Right, because that means that implies that Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, because that's what we're going to see. Yisro asked Moshe, "What are you doing here, making everybody stand whilst you're sitting?" Right? And you're sitting alone, and everybody's standing by you from morning to evening. So Moshe answered his father-in-law, because they come to Posuk Tesvav. They come to me to ask me, seek HaKadosh Baruch Hu's advice, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants of them. And it says, that's what it says, I inform them of the statutes of God, and his teachings. So that is only possible, that was after Matan Torah. Right?
So we take our Torah, and after the Torah was given, Ad Yom HaKippurim until the Day of Atonement, Lo Yashav Moshe. Moses did not sit, Lishpot Ha'am, to judge the people.
Right, so now Rashi's going to explain why.
Sharei the 70th day of Tammuz, Yarad V'Shabbat et Haluchot. He descended and broke the tablets. Ulamahar Allah.
Next day, Allah
Ba'ashkama, and on the morning he went up early.
Right.
V'shachar Shemonim Yom, and tarried there 80 days. V'yarad V'yom HaKippurim, and descended on the Day of Atonement.
Right. Now Rashi doesn't say this thing that he came down and went up again on Chof Tes, came down on Chof Tes, went up on Lamed, because that might say the same would apply as well, because Moshe Rabbeinu was not a full day in the camp. Because he went up on the 30th of thing that there was never a full day where Moshe Rabbeinu could have judged the people. The aim parasha,
and this section is not Ketuvah Keseder, written in chronological order.
Yes.
Shalom Ne'emar, for it came Vayhi B'Maharat, and it came to pass on the morrow, was not stated.
Right.
Ad Shana Shiniyah, until the second year.
Which means Shana Shiniyah means after Rosh Hashanah of the following Rosh Hashanah.
After the Divrei HaOmer, even according to the words of him who says,
the opinion who says,
Yitro Kodem Matan Torah Ba, that Yitro came before the giving of the Torah. Shalaho El Artso, nevertheless his departure to his own land, Lo Haya Elah, did not take place. Ad Shana Shaniyah, the second year. Shaharei De'emar Khan, which states in this connection, Vaishlach Moshe et Hotno, and Moses let his father-in-law depart. Amatsinu Mamasa, and we find by the journeys Had Galim divisions.
Whatever, by the journeys of the different groups, right? The flag groups.
Yeah, Shama lo Moshe, that Moshe said to him, Yitro, Nosiim Anachnu El Makom V'Goy. We're journeying into the leave us not, I pray you. Matan Torah. And if this took place before the giving of the Torah,
when Moshe Rabbeinu told his father-in-law, "Don't leave us," and Ma'aseh Yisro did leave.
Yeah.
Right. So that was before Matan Torah.
After he had let him depart and he had gone, where do we find that he returned?
So then, wait 1 second. Okay. Okay. Now, so then basically, in summation, right? Rashi's saying it must be that this Mimachras was said after Yom Kippur. That's what they said in the Sifri explains it. And this is Vayim was the day after Yom Kippur. Now, it had to be though that Yisro, even if he came, when he came before Matan Torah, came after Matan Torah, this was when Moshe Yisro was around then. But it had to be that this day when Moshe Rabbeinu was judging the people from morning to night, that must have been only after Yom Kippur, because there was no other day from the day Kodesh Baruch Hu had given Moshe the 10 Commandments at Har Sinai on the 6th of Sivan. From then till the day after Yom Kippur, there was no one full day when Moshe Rabbeinu was in the camp. Because throughout that period, Moshe Rabbeinu was on Mount Sinai, except for 2 days in the middle, and even those 2 days, there was not a full day there. Because he came down the previous day, and he went up early the next morning. So therefore, it couldn't have been. Now, if you're going to say, now Rashi adds a point over here, that also when it says later that Moshe Rabbeinu released his, he let Yisro go back home, that must have also been after Yom Kippur. That was already only in the second year after this Yom Kippur, because if this had been when Yisro went back, it says Moshe Rabbeinu let his father-in-law go, and Yisro went back to his land. If that had been before Yom Kippur, where do we find that he came back again? So it must have been that when Yisro went back to his land, must have been afterwards. Okay, so therefore Rashi is just pointing out the last pasuk in this parasha, it's in this section, Vayishalach Moshe es chosna vayir ha'aretz, that already happened after Yom Kippur of the even much later, somewhere in the second year. That's when thing. But this, so therefore, even though this is written, and then it says the next pasuk says, on the third month they came to Har Sinai. That means it didn't happen then. It happened already. Had happened earlier, but this section is written out of chronological order. That's basically the summation of Rashi says. Now, just finish up.
Ve'im tomar.
Shom lo ne'ema Yisro.
Where do we find that he returned? Ve'im tomar, if you say, Sham lo ne'ema Yitro is not stated here. Ela chovav.
Chovav.
But chovav.
Yeah, it says chovav. And who was that?
And he was the son of Yitro.
So no, don't say that.
Well, he said not son, but that to show how on each other they were.
So
it's referred to as, no, it's not son.
Who chovav?
Son-in-law. So who chovav, who Yitro. That is not to say, but chovav is the same as Yitro.
Right, synonymous with Yisro, Shaharik
Sin. It's written in Judges, Membnei chovav hoten Moshe. Even from the children of chovav, the father-in-law of Moshe.
So chovav, you see, is the father-in-law of Moshe is given the name chovav. So, and you know, Yisro was the father-in-law. So obviously the chovav and Yisro are synonymous. One and the same person.
Vayishem Moshe v'gol v'amod ha'am, and Moses sat, etc. The people stood. Yoshem Kamelech, he sat like a king. V'chulam omdim, whilst they stood.
All of them stood.
V'hoshka hadabah Yitro, and this thing was distasteful to Yitro.
Well, yes, was how should you say? Distasteful is not the right word. Huksha hadabah Yisro means Yisro was bothered by it.
Yeah,
okay, that's better to say.
Sheha bezalzel v'chvodan shel Yisrael. But Moses was treating lightly the honor of Israel. And Yitro reproved him for this, as it stated, Madua ata yoshev lebadecha. Why do you sit alone? And everyone, all your
everybody else is standing.
Min haboker ad harev, from the morning until the evening. If Shalamah Cain, is it really possible to say so that Moshe sat the whole day long? Ela kol dayan. However, every judge should
right?
However, every judge shedan din emet la'amito, who passes judgment in real truth, afilu sha'ach echad, even for 1 hour, ma'aleh alav hakatuv. Scripture accounts it to his credit.
To him, yes.
Kilu osek b'Torah, as though he engaged in the study of Torah. Kol hayom, the entire day, ukilu na'asa shutaf laHakodesh Baruch Hu, as though he became a partner to the Holy One, blessed be He, Ma'aseh Bereshit, in the work of creation. Shenema bo. Okay, we stated that it was evening and morning.
Okay, morning.
Okay.
No, it says Rashi is saying as follows. Where do I get it from? Because where do you else find the term boker and erev? Mina boker ad erev. So it says, Rashi says, in creation it says, Vahi erev, Vahi boker, Yom echad, Vahi erev, Vahi boker, Yom sheni, each day. So you see, in connection with the creation of the world, the term each day is described as it was morning, it was evening, it was morning. So similarly here when it says, they stood by him from morning to evening, that indicates, is hinting at the fact that the person who is sitting, right, is acting as if he is from morning till evening, i.e. the same as HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he created, was in the morning and in the evening and the morning, so too somebody who judges the Jewish people is considered doing a similar act to HaKadosh Baruch Hu as doing something both in the evening and the morning. Okay? So therefore two things. So it's interesting. One point, right, is why are you sitting alone and everybody's standing next to you or by you? But this doesn't mean actually everybody was standing from morning till evening.
No, it was a line.
Okay, there was a line, obviously, but the person who came early at 7 o'clock in the morning, right?
He was gone.
He was gone, right? And only the person who came 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe had to wait 5 hours. But nevertheless, he wasn't there from morning till evening. Okay? So therefore, Rashi explains that this term, the phrase, min boker adara, means that the judge who judges correctly and genuinely, right, gives the correct psak, absolute correct psak, then he is considered as if he is has been learning Torah the entire day. Min boker adara. Okay. I think everybody's thing. Shlomo, you're next.
Okay. Yud.
Number 15.
Right.
No, let's see. Actually, we actually pasuk Yud Dalet. We didn't know Rashi on that. There's a pasuk Yud Dalet.
Oh.
Okay.
Vayar.
Moshe Eitzah Asher Hu Aseh La'am. ויאמר מה הדבר הזה אשר אתה עושה לעם? מדוע אתה ישן לבדך וכל עוד ניצב עליך
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, the Maisi actually got 2 psukim in there.
I've just done 15. 14, I've done 14.
Yeah, that's 14, yes.
I've just done 14.
Right.
It's 15.
Oh, you read 14?
Yep.
Did you
We
know
just said bin habakar adarif.
Yeah, that was both. Also, that was mentioned in 13 as well.
Yeah.
Oh. I've done it I did 14.
No, you didn't. You did 13. Okay.
Did you 13? Okay. Well,
I was doing 40.
No, you were doing 30.
Well, anyway, what do you think?
Well, never mind. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so let's translate.
So Moshe's father-in-law
saw
all that Moshe did.
Was doing to the people, right?
And he said, well, what is this thing that you are doing to the people? Why are you sitting alone by yourself? And all the people are standing over you from morning until evening.
Right.
Okay.
Okay? No Rashi on that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I saw one in evening twice. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So I see that, yeah.
Right. Okay.
ויאמר משה
L'chosna.
כי יבוא אליי העם לדרוש אלוהים. כי יהיה להם.
One second, let's translate that because there's Rashi here actually.
Right. Moshe said to his father-in-law that that they will come on, the people will come upon me.
Come to me.
To seek God.
Right. Literally means to seek God. What it means is to seek advice, to seek instruction. If you look in the Targum system, Misva Umfan min Kodam Hashem, to seek instruction from God, from before God. Okay, let's see Rashi.
Ki yavo. Ki ba lashon.
Lashon Hove. So Rashi is
coming continually.
Yeah, meaning Ki Yovo Elai, because the people now literally means the people will come. It doesn't mean will, but they are already coming. So Rashi said that means Ki Yovo means Ki Bo, the people are coming. Lashon Hove, it's a present tense expression.
Right.
You find this often that depending on the different context, there is generally not often used, or maybe I could. There is the present tense used, but the present tense is generally used to describe a one-off action happening now. But if you want to describe a continual action, then either the past or the future tense is used, depending on the context. And here's another example of this, that it says, Kiyov, the people will come, doesn't mean they will, it means they are coming, and they will continue to come.
Right.
Okay, that's what it means in this sense.
Okay.
Okay, Lidroish Elokim,
To inquire of God. Kitaguno.
its meaning, as the Targum says,
To seek. Yes.
Lemispa Ulfan.
The mitzvah.
Ulfan. Right, to seek instruction.
Like Opan.
Right, Lish'ol.
To ask continually from the mouth of the great ones.
of the Almighty. The mouth of the Almighty. It means they want to know what the Almighty says, whether they're supposed to do this in this situation.
Right.
Each different situations. Okay. Yaakov, you can say another passage.
When they have a problem, a matter, Eli, he comes to me, and I judge.
Rashi is actually going to make an interesting point.
Yeah.
It says, if they have a matter of dispute, Boilai, he comes to me.
Right.
Why the changes? So say they, Boilai, they come to me. So Rashi is going to dwell on that.
V'shafti, and I judge ben ish uben rehu, between a man and between his fellow, v'hodati, and I make them know et hukatai Elohim, the statutes of God, et toratav, and his laws.
Or his teachings, yes.
So, ki yeh lahem davar ba, when they have a matter, it comes to me, they come to me. Mi sheyeh lo hadavar, whoever has the problem, matter, he comes to me,
yes. So Rashi's explained what it means this way. Ki yeh lohem means if any one of the Jewish people has a problem, has a dispute, he comes to me. So it means lohem is referring to the Jewish people in general. And when one of them has a dispute or a subject of discussion, right, which needs to require question, matter which needs to be resolved, then he comes to me. Okay. Pasuk Yud Zayin.
Stephen?
Shlomo.
ויאמר פטן משה אליו, לא טוב הדבר אשר אתה עושה. Moshe said to him, it's not good, this thing that you are doing.
Okay.
Rashi.
That point, of course. Okay. Ki Elohim Devar.
Well, no, we just did that one. That was the previous passage. Next one. Vayomer
Katan Moshe. Derek Kabod Kora'u Kora'o Hakakatu Kotmo Shel Melech.
Okay.
Then it's the way to honor.
Right, the scripture calls him in an honorable way.
As is written,
father-in-law of the king.
Moshe.
Right. By the way, you see, the important thing is that from this parasha, you see way a person should treat his father-in-law. Okay?
Yeah.
With respect. Even though Lamaisa Yisro was like was a convert, he didn't have any connection with the Jewish people, right? And he hadn't gone through the whole exodus from Egypt and whatever else they had experienced. Nevertheless, Moshe, when he came to Yisro, came to give advice to Moshe, and he said, you know, what you're doing is no good. Moshe didn't say, well, excuse me, what business is of yours? You come from, an outside, you come in, you're here for a few hours, right? Right, yeah, and you see what's going on, all of a sudden, outside you see what's going on, all of a sudden you're giving your piece of advice, right? Moshe Rabbeinu said, excuse me, I always say, just imagine, if you want to imagine it, Chaim Kanievsky is one of the big leaders of the generation, right? And everything goes on, and this guy, sort of fresh to Judaism, comes in and walks in there and he says to him, by the way, it's not, what you're doing here is not right. It doesn't, you need to change things here. Imagine the thing they say to him, excuse me, sir, very nice to come, but
right.
You realise, you're just an outsider. You don't realise all the intricacies of what goes on here. But nevertheless, even this is really technically what was happening here. Moshe Rabbeinu treated Yisro's advice with honour and respect, and he treated it seriously, and in fact he acted upon it.
Right.
It's early on, Yitro was mentioned quite a few times, but from here on it's never referred to again as Yitro, who is his father-in-law.
Right. That's a good point, actually.
To show that really the kavod should be given to Moses, really now.
He certainly might say, yes, okay, he was the father-in-law, but you see, the person should listen to his father-in-law.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, Yisrael Meir, you missed out on a couple of psukim here, but we'll give you the next one. Pasuk Yud Ches. Novo Tiboy.
Just one question. Yisrael came after Matan Torah, right?
No, it's Machlokes. We just mentioned that before in Rashi. Okay, it's Machlokes when. Okay.
Novo Tibo. Gam Ata.
Right, Rashi's going to explain what that means. You are going to become weary. Gamata. You only, you two, Gama Omazeh, and these people are Sheimach, who are with you. Made Mimcha Dova. The matter is too heavy for you, too burdensome for you. Rosuchal Asayu Levadecha. You've been unable to do it alone, be able to bear it alone. Okay, let's see Rashi. Novo Tibo. Yeah, its meaning is the Targum translated. What is that? Milo Sile. You're going to be weary. Okay, that's what Rashi says. Which means to wither. Kigoy. Kamoy v'he ole novel, and the leaf is become withered. Kinvoil ole migefen, like the leaf withers from the vine. Shukomush becomes withered al yidei achamush, wrinkled and withered by the sun. By yidei kerach, by frost, by ice. The koichod tosh v'nila, its strength becomes weakened and weary. Okay? So same thing over here. Novo Tiboy means you're going to become weary. You're not going to be able to become withered and weary from doing this alone. Gamato, you too, means Rabbis Aaron v'Chor v'Ayin Zkeni, including Aaron and Chor. Chor was Moshe Rabbeinu's grandson. Miriam's. Tzal ben Uri ben Chor, Lamata Yehuda. Chor was the son of Kolev. Okay? He was the son of Kolev, the son of Miriam. Okay? So Aaron and Chor, the Ayin Zkeni, the 70 elders. It's interesting. It sounds from the pasuk over here that Moshe Rabbeinu, even if he had been willing to divide up the responsibility of judging the people and give out responsibility also to Aaron and Chor and to the 70 elders, which means that another 72 people with him, that wouldn't have been enough. Okay, that's what it sounds like. Okay? Ki choved mimcha, right? It is heavier than you. So Rashi means, how can you describe the job being heavy? So Rashi says, Ki kovde rav yoseh mikoichacho, means it's the burden of doing this job is more than your strength allows. So you're not going to be able to do it alone. In fact, we're going to see that on Yisro's advice, Moshe Rabbeinu appointed 78,600 judges. That's what the Gemara says. 78,600 judges.
Okay,
To divide up
that's
the
enough.
Okay, but it's a little bit more than 72.
Well,
Okay, who is next?
Ata Shema B'Koli. Now listen to my voice. I will give you counsel, advice, or and may God be with you. Hayeh Ata La'am, be thou for the people. Mul HaElohim, before God. Ata, and bring you El Hadabarim, the matters El Elohim, to God. So it's I will give advice, counsel, and may God be with you. But in counsel, in this advice, my Lord, you shall say to him.
Don't just do it just because I advise you. I want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be also given
approval.
The second opinion. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's approval to this.
Go forth and take advice with the mighty one.
Right,
From
from the Almighty. Say Imalek B'Gvura. One second. Say Imalek, go out and consult with the Almighty before actually carrying out what I'm advising you.
Be you for the people before God.
Mul Elokim, facing before God, what does that mean?
A messenger, a meditator between them and the
as a messenger, and Misri, and Melit as in the go-between, Beino's son between them.
Right.
Between them and the omnipresent.
Right.
Right.
Moshoel Mishpatim Me'ito, and inquire judgment of him. Et Hadabrim, about the matters, the Dibrei Ribotam, the words of their disputes.
Right, means they're different, the subject matters of their disputes.
That's it.
Okay? Okay, I think we'll actually have around time for one more passage. Shlomo. Your time?
Sure.
Pasuk Chav.
His harka et chukim v'et Torah.
Torot.
V'hodata lahem et haderek yelchu ba v'et ha'ma'aseh asher ya'asu. So in
how to
you should be careful.
Yeah, you shall warn them.
You should warn them about the statutes and the laws, right. And you will
shall know. No, for you shall inform them.
Oh, you should inform them of the way
they should follow, right?
In them, with them, and the deeds
Bar means in it, the way they shall follow
it.
Right? The samas and the actions
and the actions that they
shall do.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no Rashi here. I think we'll stop here. Okay? Technically we'll carry on tomorrow.